bit tired today because Alex woke up at like 4 a.m.
We both went back to sleep again though, so we got a couple of more hours in. But definitely takes a toll on you to go up that early. I did get a lot of questions from you wondering why I was shooting like the vlog setups in not 1/50th of a shutter. And usually when I'm shooting the vlogs, I am limited by time, and cranking up the shutter is by far the most easy way to get the correct exposure rather than putting on an ND, even though the variable ND filters from Freewheel are really good. But it's so much easier just to crank up the shutter and then record whatever it is that I want to record. And honestly, I don't think there's that much of a noticeable difference. But when I'm shooting anything that is meant to look professional, such as the B-rolls and my YouTube videos in the studio, that is when I adhere to the rule and try to keep 1/50th at a shutter speed.
Vi måste ladda kanonerna! Den magiska diamanten.
We talked a little bit about the goals that I've set up for myself. There's 2 other goals that I haven't really talked about that I want to talk about as well.
One of the goals that I have for maybe this year, but probably more likely for the next year, is to buy a house, because we live in a 52 square meter apartment right now, and having a house with a studio in the garage or something similar would be so good. I know what we're gonna call this, but kind of like time-lapse shitter rigs. The other goal that I have is to not walk empty-handed, and it's way easier said than done. And the premise of this is that if you see something that needs to be thrown away or put in the washing bin or anything similar, you take it on your way to that place. So if I stop at a gas station and I have some junk in my car that I need to get rid of, then I have to make sure that throw that away while I'm at the gas station. So never walk empty-handed is a very good thing that I really want to get better at during this year. Currently 8 p.m. and time for workout. First 2 exercises that I do is usually warm-up exercises, and I have so much training ache from last time. But the thing is, if you don't work out while you have the training ache, it's only gonna get worse. So try to do some light exercises to get rid of the training ache. Trust me, it works. I usually do 1 press or 1 pull exercise to be able to get some blood into the muscles before I jump into the insulation exercises, but isolation. For the pecs such as flies, biceps curl and all that stuff, because those are the ones that you want to do when you already have the blood in your muscles. Some bodybuilding science here for you. Finishing off the workout with 10 minutes on the bike. Try to stay somewhere between 8 and 12 on the resistance. It's usually pretty good, and try to keep a high tempo. 95 calories. Can you imagine that 10 minutes on the bike is 95 calories, and that's not even half a chocolate bar. That's so weird. But it doesn't really matter if you do 10 minutes on the bike or if you do 1 minute. It's still a minute more than any minute spent on the couch. Let's keep going. Hej! Hallå! Välkommen tillbaka till studion. Sorry if the AC is a little bit too loud, but it was very hot in the studio. Spending an entire day with Alexander is one of the best things ever, but also one of the most demanding things ever, because you gotta be present. You gotta be using your imagination to play pirates and dinosaurs and everything. It's kind of weird that us adults kind of lose that fantasy world that kids have. And if there's something that I really want to do, is to let Alex be a kid for as long as he can, because that creativity, that imagination, and that kind of like spirit that they got is what I think is very cool. Also, don't get me wrong about like having a studio at home, because I really love this studio. It's not that, but it's also like 35 to 45 minutes one way to drive here to be able to do some work, and I would love to have that at home instead of driving like 1.5 hours back and forth to maybe like pick up a hard drive. Okay. Vi har haft den här, vet du, så man liksom kollar i den då. Nu kanske ligger du här. Men jag vet att jag har haft flera sådana. Ett litet lapp till kameran så. I'm looking for the what do you call it, like body cap? I have found it, my ladies and gentlemen. You know that I talked about this in a previous video? Yeah, I thought we should fix that today. So my buddy Tom Buck sent a video on how to do the screen wobble fix. His YouTube name is called Red Green Go. He basically goes through the entire process of taking apart the back piece of the A7S III. So we're gonna try to see if we can do that. I also want to say that I have never done anything similar to this before, so this is gonna be my first time tearing down a camera and assembling it in one piece. Things we need: tools. Ooh, that looks so nice. This was by far the best kit that I could find. It also had the best kind of reviews that I could find as well. Papiro, gaff tape, or as we would say in Swedish, silvertape. So I'm making sure that I'm drawing out all the screw holes, so it's going to be easy to put them all into the same place once I'm assembling it together. Of truth. You'll be very cautious about the ribbon connectors. Pretty good heatsink right here. And this right here is the thermal paste. So when this is here, this absorbs the heat and cools this entire thing down. Pretty cool. These two screws is what's making the entire thing wobble. Since it's already been breaking on me 2 times, I will put some super glue in there and tighten that, and hopefully it's gonna be like sticking into place. Only thing I could find was epoxy. Tighten it into place again. We're gonna do the same on other ones so that we don't get any wobbliness whatsoever. Time to put it back together. Screen still works. No more wobble. We are fixed. Ooh! I honestly didn't think it was going to be that easy, because it might look a little bit more finicky than it is, but having the right tools definitely help on doing something like this if you want to do it on your own. But I also think that this is not something that should be necessary on a expensive camera like the A7S III, because this should work way longer than just like 6 to 9 months.